Yo, good morning. Actually, it's afternoon. It's not the morning market report. It's Sunday afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Gen Wealth. This is the Sunday show that I do here with my son, and we talk about the markets and everything that's going on out there for the week coming up ahead. We talk about a little bit of budget things, how to squeeze a little bit of extra money into your investments, and just overall financial mindset, right? Because it's really about mindset at the end of the day. How do we adopt a mindset that's going to allow us to get ahead financially so that we can catch these markets when they're moving up and down and have the money to do so? So, without any further ado, guys, I told you I do this show with my son, ZTS Rhythm, as you guys know him in the morning market report show. He's here with me today, so let's go ahead and bring him up here. What is up, ZTS Rhythm? How you doing there, son?
You know me, I'm chilling, I'm doing everything, going to work, getting that money, coming home, hanging out with you and mom, doing all that crazy stuff. Not too much, just kind of living a humble life, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. And you are definitely the king of fiat mining. You out there every day grinding away, like most of the viewers. Just you got to go to work to pay those bills, so that you can make more money, so that you can go to work and pay more bills. That's really what it is. I saw a thing not too long ago. As a guy on Twitter and had him driving in his car. He's like, I hate traffic, but I gotta get to work so I can pay for this car. And then he gets to work and he's like, God, I hate this job, but I got to work so I can pay for that car. And really, it was just a cycle of, I got to have a car to get to work, and I got to go to work so I have a car. And it's just a cycle of thought, right? So I'm sure you understand that. But we're going to be taking a look at a couple of things today, Zach, that we're going to be talking about. One is we're going to talk about streaming services. We're going to take a look at those because I don't think everyone realizes how many streaming services there are. So we're going to be looking at those and what the average person's spending on example for like Netflix, right? Or streaming services in general, and some ways that you can actually leverage your streaming services to get a little bit of extra money. You get there's a method. There's a methodology. We're going to talk about that. And then also talk about some credit card things. Are credit cards as bad as everyone plays them out to be? Is there a way that if you are disciplined, and if you're investing, I would hope that you're disciplined. Is there a way that you can leverage those credit cards to squeeze a little bit money in for investments? And then also, obviously, we're going to be taking a look at the whole week ahead. But I am going to be putting a poll up here in just a moment for you guys, because we have a major debate going on that we have to discuss. So be watching for that poll to be dropping into the chat here in just a second. But yeah, I was gone all last week in Tucson. If you guys don't know, I'd been gone for a whole week and moving over there to do some stuff. Had to go get a ring made for the wife and stuff because I owed her a band to go with her engagement set that I got her. You guys may remember that from St. Thomas, but yeah, I had to go get a ring made, and then came back. And then if you guys have been in the Discord and on X, you guys know that a puppy is coming soon. Zach's getting a fur sister that's going to be moving into the house with us. And we got that poll up on the name, so we might take a look at that too. But first, I want to give a shout out to people in the chat. Because actually, ZTS, you want to give a shout out to everybody that's in the chat right now?
Yeah, I can go ahead and give a big shout out to everybody. First up, we got the best moderator in the space, Alexander G, of course. Uh, we have Blackie Chan up in here on his content creation account, BC Port Corp. Shout out to that guy. Awesome dude. We got Harp. We also got Buck. That's a new name. I haven't seen Buck before. We have Melissa. Also a new name for me. We got my guy, LBC, Lunar Beach Cryptos, David. What's up? How you doing? And anybody else? Alex O Crypto, the guy. There we go. That's everybody.
Awesome. And I'm putting the poll in here right now. So here's the question that we're going to ask you guys. Are you ready? We had a debate about what actually constitutes a sandwich. So I'm going to put this in here. And then I'm going to go over and I'm going to pull up the definition of a sandwich. Okay. So I'm going to put that there. And then we got the yes and no. And there you go. You guys now have a poll. Let's go over here to my chart. And I want to pull up this question. I want to pull up the definition because, I'm all about fairness. I'm all about fairness. Let's jump here and we'll just look at this, guys. Sandwich. An item consisting of two pieces of bread with meat, cheese, or other filling between them, eaten as a light meal. Okay. And you see things, there's like the hoagie here, you got the BLT, right? Sandwich definition of meaning, according to Merriam Webster, two or more slices of bread or a split roll having a filling in between them. One slice of bread covers the food, okay? Covering the food. That is a sandwich also. So here's the question. Here's the debate. We want you guys, you got a poll. Let us know in the poll. Is a hot dog a sandwich? Because I think a hot dog is a sandwich. I would almost even go as far to say, that you could say a taco is a Mexican sandwich. I would like to know your thoughts on this, Zach. No, 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 no. By the definition, bro. So, what do you think, guys? Let me know in the chat. We got a poll up, but Zach, you got feedback on it. You're already shaking your head. What are your thoughts?
I will agree. A hot dog is a sandwich. That is 100%. It's bread. It fits the definition we pulled up. 100% hot dog is a sandwich. I refuse to allow you to call a taco a sandwich. Because if we're talking about a corn tortilla, it's not the same substance as bread. A flour tortilla, you could argue 100%. A flour tortilla, you could 100% argue taco is a sandwich. But if we're going 100% authentic Mexican taco, it's a corn tortilla, not the same substance as bread. I refuse to allow you to call that taco a sandwich.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to go with that. Tortilla is not bread, Alexander G said. Sausage in a tortilla is a taco holoco, Buck says. Okay. I thought it was a hoagie. No way. It's an American sandwich. Alex O Crypto said. So let me go over here. A hot dog is 1,000% a sandwich according to BC Pork Corp. Doesn't matter what it says. It's not. There you go. It's a mixed bag here. It's a mixed bag, and you got a +1 from Alexander G. Let me go over here. Let me go over here for a second, and I want to show you guys what it says here. Tortillas are made from grains, either wheat, flour, or ground maize. Bread is also made from grain ground into flour. The difference, though, is that tortillas are unleavened. So bread is leavened, which means a yeast is added in order to make the dough rise. Now, that being said, pita bread and naan is also the same thing. It's not leavened and there's no yeast in it. It doesn't rise. And a pita is absolutely a sandwich. So therefore, based on the definition that it is the same thing but no yeast, that would be a pita in my opinion. And so if a pita is a sandwich, then a taco has to be a sandwich. I'm standing on business with this for you Gen Z speakers out there. But Zach, I'm sure you have a retort before we get into the weekly market. Let me know what you think.
Reason a hot dog works as a sandwich is it has that cut. The bun has the cut in it, right? There's no cut on a tortilla. There's no cut on a tortilla. I can understand going with like the Euro perspective on the naan and the pita bread. It's called pita bread, right? Like that's a bread, 100%. Therefore, that's a sandwich. But when it comes to tacos, specifically tacos and burritos, like that does not have a cut. There is no cut there.
Well, technically, you can take a single piece of bread. If you broke and you poor, you people out there, we know this. I've been a bachelor. I've been a poor bachelor. We'll take a single piece of bread when we don't have the money for buns, and we'll put a hot dog in it, fold it in half, or take your lunch meat, your one piece of cheese, and your one piece of grainy bologna, and fold it in half, and that's still a sandwich, and that's technically what a tortilla is doing. However, I am going to fall back on this. I'm going to fall back on this and agree that the community has voted. The community has voted. They are saying that, Zach, you are correct. Actually, on all fronts except for the hot dog, they disagree with you. 73% said no, a hot dog is not a sandwich. And I am pretty sure that it would be like 98% would say that that a taco is not a sandwich if I put that up there too. So you guys have voted. I am going to stand down. I'm going to stand down. Wonder cheese and Wonder bread and fake cheese. Alex O knows. Alex O has been there. See, government cheese is a thing, guys. It's you take if you don't know what government cheese is, take Velveeta and lower the quality by about another 50% of how close it is to being an actual cheese, and that would be government cheese. So there you go. All right, you guys win. I'm not going to argue, but hot dog is not a sandwich has absolutely been laid out here. So even though it meets all the definitions of a sandwich, a hot dog is not a sandwich, and for sure, a taco is not a sandwich. Buck said the Canadian can't give food advice. You guys put butter on your sandwich bread. Ouch, Buck. Ouch. Why are you attacking Alex O Crypto in here? That's the survival meal, bro. Facts. Alex O said government cheese. He knows all about it. Hey, Alex, I got to ask you, have you ever had a mayonnaise sandwich? You ever had just a mayonnaise sandwich? Like nothing's on it. It's just mayo. You had bread, you had mayo, you had nothing else. And you said, at least it's flavored bread. Let me know. If you guys have ever made a mayo sandwich or a ketchup sandwich, just a condiment, no cheese, nothing to put on it, and made a sandwich because that's all you had in the fridge, put a one in the chat. I want to know that I'm not the only bachelor that survived on minimum wage in this chat today. So let me know in the chat. And let's get into the market stuff. What do you think, ZTS? Get into it. Just give me a thumbs up. Let's do it. Let's do it. Leroy Jenkins. All right, let's go. No chance, Alex says. All right, let's get into the week ahead, guys, because we got some stuff going on this week. We got some stuff going on. Obviously, guys, tomorrow, it's like an egg sandwich without oil. Yeah, that's a thing too. Drake, how you doing there, Drake? What's up, man? Drake's 68 in the house. Buck and Alexandra have made condiment sandwiches good. I'm not alone. I've been poor before. Lunar Beaches, you know, I know, we know. 10-cent ramen back in the day. Actually used to be able to buy, I think it was a 10-pack for $1 of ramen back in the day. I don't know. ZTS, I gotta come over here, bro. How much is a package of ramen in today's price? Because you love ramen, not because you have to eat it, but you love ramen. So, what is the price of ramen?
So it's been a minute since I've actually gone to the store and bought it myself, but I do understand that
You're welcome.
ramen. Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. But I do it's still in my understanding that it's a very cheap, easy meal to make. So based off that information, I don't think inflation has really skyrocketed the price of boil noodle ramens. So
I gotta pipe in here real fast. Pipe in. No pun intended. Fried bologna, dude. Lunar Beaches. I literally just went and got boar's head because I like boar's head garlic bologna, and I got thick cut, like 3/4 of an inch thick. And every now and then, I like to throw down on an American cheese fried bologna sandwich with mayo or with ketchup. Sorry, mayo. I was stuck on mayo with ketchup on 2 white pieces of bread. That is a throwdown for me still to this day. It's the Midwest in me, but yeah, what is it? What you?
since we're talking about ramen, can we just like do ramen for dinner?
No, I don't know what we're doing yet.
Okay, well that's out there on the table, so we'll have to have mom weigh in on that. But ramen for dinner.
Well, check it out. So if you guys don't know, I showed Zach how to fancy up his ramen. I took his little package of ramen, and we got shaved ribeye. We throw it in the pan, cook it up with the sesame oil, and then a little bit of salt, sesame oil, and a little splash of some soy sauce in it, low sodium, because gotta watch the sodium. Cook that all up, put it on top of the ramen, and then he does the ramen with the he gets the egg and he got a little timer, slices that up, puts it in the slicer, puts his sliced hard boiled egg, soft boiled egg, I guess it is, in there, and then he puts that shredded meat on top of it, a little bit of red onion. He actually puts that into the water with the noodles so it gets that flavor in. But yeah, I've showed him how to jazz up some cheap ramen. That's for sure. I said, let me up your game. Let me up your ramen game, son.
Yeah, I eat that, and don't forget a little bit of the garlic seasoning just to make it go a little bit further.
Got to get that in there. All right, let's get into the charts, guys. Let's look at this week ahead, and then we're going to talk about some of these other things. Crux, Crux coming in with hot dogs, definitely not a sandwich. Bro, the poll has been done. I got it. I'm wrong. Zach's right. And oh wow, it is now 67% have said no, 33%. We're gonna keep it running. We're gonna keep this running the whole show. I might come back and flip this to a win for myself, son. So we're gonna keep it here. We're gonna keep this poll going here for a little bit, at least until we get through the market stuff. Let's jump in here, take a look at this, guys. Markets closed tomorrow. There's no stock market open tomorrow. We are going to be looking at crypto only pretty much tomorrow, and then some futures. I think there're going to be some futures open for that market, but the stock market closed tomorrow, Labor Day. So I don't know, what are you guys doing for Labor Day? Let me know in the chat. ZTS, myself and Miss Piper, we're just kind of chilling. We're not really doing anything today or tomorrow. I might do some I might do some ribs tomorrow. I don't know. We're gonna talk about it. I might do ribs. You down for some ribs?
How dare you? You have my schedule right over here to my left. You see that I work tomorrow.
Oh yeah, you work
Talking about doing
tomorrow.
ribs, and I'm not gonna be able to enjoy them. Rude. I think you forgot to unmute yourself.
Oh yeah, I did. What I eat, he eats. So typically, if I'm doing ribs, I'll wait. You win. You win again. Jesus, it's Sunday win day for Zach. Okay, let's get into this stuff though. I gotta focus. Okay, here we go. I'm definitely going to be live tomorrow morning, guys. Just so you know, I'm going to be doing the morning market report. We're still going to be looking at crypto. It might just be a shorter show, but looking here at the week ahead for Tuesday, obviously Monday, nothing going on there. Looking ahead for Tuesday, we do have ISM manufacturing coming out this week. Looks like it's going to be up just a little bit. What is ISM manufacturing PMI, Piper? Well, I'm glad you asked, alumni. That is the manufacturing report on business. It's based on data compiled from purchasing and supply executives. So people that do all of the purchasing and supply stuff, they put in this report every month, and the survey response reflect change, if any, in the current month compared to the previous month for each of the indicators measured, which there's export orders, backlog of orders. It basically measures demand, guys. Okay, so if demand is high or low, then it could be an indicator of inflation. And as of right now, for the ISM, it looks like demand is up. Now we've already seen that we had retail tick up on retail sales. It was on the GDP a little bit higher, and it was on the actual retail sales. So we've seen that sales are up. Retail commerce is increasing. This is also showing that we've got a little bit more demand too. Guys, demand and purchasing could be an indicator that we could see an increase of inflation. So just keep that in mind. Could be another reason that we see 25 basis points instead of 50 basis points this month. Also, because we've seen labor numbers kind of mellow out a little bit, not showing so much weakness. We know, yes, they revise those all the time, but that is a reason for them to not do 50 basis points, because it gave them a little breath. Okay, things aren't as bad as what they looked on that first numbers, right? But then we also have these numbers that could show a slowdown of inflation or an increase of inflation. Another reason stacking on. I'm very very much leaning towards 25 basis points over 50 basis points this month on the FOMC. So Wednesday, we're going to be getting JOLTS job openings. Guys, this one, looking like it's going to be coming in a little lower than normal. Jolt's job openings do not include farm jobs. They are not no seasonal jobs in this. This is job openings refer to all positions that are open, not filled in the last business day of the month. They're part of the job openings and labor turnover survey, which is Jolt's, and includes federal, state, local governments, all that stuff, but it does not include non-farm payroll. Okay. So non-farm jobs, seasonal jobs are not included in that. Right now, on Wednesday, that's coming out looking like it's just going to be slightly less. It's not a major one, but this is one to keep an eye on for sure. And then Jolt's job quits 3.282 million. They're actually expecting that people quitting coming down a little bit could be a little fear of, hey, if I quit this job, I may not be able to find another one. So, yeah, what you got, ZTS? Let's jump over to do okay.
Oh yeah, so Lunar Beaches was like so early show. That's fine. I can go back to sleep unless Piper has me on his show. Wonder if Alex will have me on his show. And then he asked follow up the 6 to 7, as in 6 in the morning to 7 in the morning in the comments right now.
Yeah, so it'll just be a shorter show, Lunar, that we're gonna do tomorrow. But yeah, if you want to come on tomorrow morning, that's absolutely fine. I'd love to have you on. Love to have you on the show tomorrow. But you guys are starting, I do believe, announcement time, folks. I do believe that Good Morning Crypto with BC Port Corp and Lunar Beaches Crypto is starting tomorrow morning on our YouTube. Is on Piper Academy. Is that correct? Lunar Beaches, let me know in the chat. But yeah, if you want to come on, it's just going to be a really quick show tomorrow. But if you want to come on, I'm always open to have you on. So you know that. You know that. Let's jump back in to the this market data, guys. That on Thursday we're going to be getting ISM services. This is the service side, just like up here, it was the ISM manufacturing. Now we're going to be looking at services data. And one of those big things that I think is in this, let me double check and confirm, but I think this also includes like uh, travel and stuff like that, business activity and do orders, imports, prices. I think this is goods and services. We'll have to look and see what it says here on the top side. Yeah, what's going on? I got a bad cable and it just keeps kicking all of my stuff from one chart to the other. So if you guys are getting a flash, it is not your internet. It is my monitor saying, buy me a new cord. So we move everything over here. There we go. ISM, lifting business activity, additional employment levels, service providers. So yeah, service providers is in this. So we're going to be taking a look at that. It looks like food services, finance, educational services, healthcare. So yeah, there are things in here that could have an indication of travel, recreation, all that. So we're going to be looking at that also. That again is going to be coming out on Thursday. There we go. Let's check the chat here for a second. Oh, Randy in the house. Let's jump over here and let's go pop that up. Randy said, is there a puppy's name yet? As of right now, we're in a tie between Schatzi. If you don't know, that's treasure in German. Poppy, Piper, or Bella. So that's the four that we're really leaning on as of right now. It's a tie between Shotzi, Poppy, and or Piper and Bella. The lowest one in there is Poppy. And guess who wanted Poppy? Raise your hand if you wanted the name Poppy for the dog. Go ahead, ZTS. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, that is what it is. But yeah, no official name yet on the dog. BC Port Corp said, yes, sir. I am ready to move over. We're glad to hear that, man. Cool. Love waking up early on a day off. Um, that's my life in 22 years of the army. You get no sympathy from me, bro. None. I can still do the time we talked about Lunar Beaches, LBC Central Time. Yeah, LBC. You're going to be going live. I don't know what you have here. 7 to 8, 6:30 to 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. I don't know what you're writing there. That's a bunch of numbers. What do you guys eat?
Okay, Crux. He said that's a male name. He has not seen one of the best shows to ever grace this earth. Poppy is not a male name. It's a gender neutral name.
So, Poppy, if you don't know, there's a TV show on Apple Plus, and the reason that he's doesn't know about this is because He doesn't have Apple Plus because he's missing out on some great content over there. We're getting ready to talk about streaming services too, which is funny. There's a show on there called Mythic Quest, and the head developer, she's one of my favorite characters on any show. Her name is Poppy, so there you go. Poppy Lee is her name, and she's from Korea. So it is absolutely a female name or a male name. There you go. If you consider that a flower would probably be a female name. Flora, Spanish, it's a feminine tone, Flora, right? That would be Poppy. Poppy is a flower. So there you go. Let's get into more of the chart stuff, though. That's more useless data, more useless knowledge today with Army Piper. Let's jump over here and take a look. Friday, do we have anything big on Friday? Let me put this on 2 so I can get rid of a lot of this info. Because, yeah, you guys see how much data there is. You put this down on the filter, and there's not as much. Looking at Friday, we are looking at the 6th. Non-farm payrolls coming out and unemployment rate, guys. This could be good. This could be good right here, guys. We'll see how it comes out. But right now, 4.3% is the unemployment rate for August. 4.2% on consensus, 4.3% on forecast. Forecasted to be neutral. Actually looking at a consensus here for it to be for some fake number to come out and say it's actually 0.1% better. So that is what we're seeing there. Yes, she is a very cute dog. Very cute. We can't wait to get her. She's going to be coming from a nanny. A pampered nanny is bringing her to us. So that's pretty cool. Retro Mike Tack said, Addison named her puppy Piper. I vote Piper with the Y. That would separate Piper from me, because I don't know if you guys have ever watched the Indiana Jones where his dad's in it, which is played by Sean Connery, and in that movie he's like Junior, and he's like, it's Indiana, Dad, and he goes, we named the dog Indiana. So that's what I think of every time I hear about naming my dog Piper, and I'm Piper too. I don't know, it's we named the dog Piper. That's all I can hear in my head. All right, rant done. Back to this. Let's go check out and see what we're looking at for the week here on Bitcoin. I got quite a few things to show you guys here. We did come down. I do have this level on here. We're going to talk about that in a second. $57,700. We're going to talk about that level in just a second on this chart. But what I want to show you guys is we did lose that level of support that we were talking about last week, the 0.66. Not a lot. We wicked quite a bit down and then came back up here. Those bulls buying up every little bit of that dip that came into play. And you can see here, it does look like there are some bullish setups on the chart here. I talked with Buck earlier about this. We did a little one-on-one. Looking here, you guys see this wave, this pink wave coming in here? That is the money flow. Matter of fact, I can come over here and bring this into play for you. And let's get this in on money mode. And so for those that are listening to this and not watching it, I am looking at this wave, and it goes up and down like a wave of the ocean, and then it pulls down a little bit in the tide. When the money is going down below a zero line, below sea level, that would be money is leaving. It's a money flow. It's like a trough or a depression in the earth, right? That is the money flow, and it's been coming up ever since we made that sharp pullback on Bitcoin's price on 5 August. During that pullback here on the daily, on a single daily chart, we wicked all the way down 15.66%, and then we pulled back up from that about 50%. On that day, that was the bottom of the pull down on money flow. It is coming up, okay? So money flow coming back in line with the zero line. That is one bullish thing I'm seeing on the daily here. I want to go back in, turn the other indicators on for it, and let's see what we're seeing here for Sunday, because that weekly close is coming in. We had a monthly close yesterday. We're going to look at that too, but we did have a weekly close coming in today. So this could be setting us up for, a little telltale sign. But remember, I've talked about this. Anything that we see in August and early September is a sucker's rally. I told you guys this on August 1st, and that is definitely what we have seen play out on this Bitcoin chart. Right here, though, guys, you see this true 7? That is picking up 7 different indicators and reading data here from Chart Prime's algorithmic data. thing is an absolute monster. You can see it here. It printed. Look, sideways, up. Printed here, repeated. V-shape recovery, up. See it here. Hopefully we could see a little upside movement from this. Now, the things that bother me, we have money flow going up, and that's a bottom indicator. We also printed that peach signal right there in the power bar that says, hey, I've ran out of bearish momentum, right? I've ran up out of energy on this power bar. Think of this like a battery, right? You see right here, printed, that was it. We went up. So some bullish stuff there. The bearish side, we do have the oscillator ribbon still in the negative, coming down to the downside. That's bearish. And then also this volume matrix. If I bring this into focus, you can see that the volume matrix is continuing to go down. We're not getting a curvature. And typically when this goes red, it goes red for a while and continues down. So we do have some mixed stuff on the charts. If I had to say what we're going to see, I think tomorrow we might see a little bounce to the upside. Excuse me, letting some of this stuff play out. But overall, I do think that September going to be a little bit of a bearish month, at least in the first 2 weeks of it, guys. We put this out back in August, and let's just go back to August 1st. Here we go. August 1st, we were right here. And I said, I'm expecting sell-off all of August. That move on August 1st, that put us on a move trajectory as far down as 25% to the current level. Even if you held, you'd still be down 10% from where I told you guys we were going to do that. And I'm expecting that in September also, but I am not alone. We're going to come back and look at some more Bitcoin stuff. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. But I do want to come over here and talk about some things that I'm seeing on Pro News. For you guys that don't know, I have CNBC Pro, and I'm trying to bring you guys in some good data off of this also. And one of the things that I'm seeing here is, we'll go to that in a second. There we go. Let's get into this article here. Wall Street is bracing for a tough month ahead in September. Fed meeting in focus. And they're thinking the same thing too, guys. It's not just me. TradFi, big money, Wall Street, thinking things could get a lot more dicey in September. Wall Street wrapped up one of the most turbulent trading months of the year after the S&P 500, which started August, hosting its worst day since 2022, recovered all of its losses in just 3 short weeks. It's once again approaching all-time highs. We haven't seen that with Bitcoin, by the way, folks. The broader index topped 5660 in July. It was last just a stone's throw away from a milestone. Okay. But next month's setup gets more challenging. September is seasonally the weakest month on the calendar. I want to come over here and I want to talk about this for a second. I just smacked my microphone. I'm so pumped up about this one. I'm going to go over here to solo open. Here we go. All right, guys. Let's go here. There we go. Some things to think about here. And I know that I have beat this drum so much to you guys about what we could see with Bitcoin in September and August and September based on that chart that everyone's throwing around. I showed it a long time ago. Look, this is July typically good. When June is good, July is typically better. That's what we had. It was better than June, right? It wasn't phenomenal. We didn't go back and break 73,000 like we saw in March, but it was still at least upside movement. August 1st, I told you guys we're probably heading down August and September. And I keep getting pushback on this idea because one, I've heard this, Bitcoin don't have enough history. That's only 3 cycles to look back on for September's. 2, what about the whole idea of election year? Well, that's all valid stuff, but it's not just Bitcoin. Wall Street has historically seen bad Septembers since 1950. Average downside move 0.7%. Past 10 years, average downside move 2.6%, 2.7, something like that. So it's not just Bitcoin. It is also present in the stock market for the S&P. Next month's setup gets more challenging. September, seasonally the weakest month on the calendar, averaging a decline of 1.2% historically. Bank of America Securities technical strategist Stephen Suitmeyer pointed out this week. On top of that, investors will have to deal with the Federal Reserve's 2-day policy meeting September 17th and 18th. The Fed is widely expected to lower rates. The question is by how much? And we've talked about that too. 0.25, 0.5. What is it? The key to the interest rates is going to be this. It's going to be job numbers, labor market right there, and inflation data. We just talked about both of those things on the economic calendar coming up. And inflation does look like we could see a slowdown of inflation, although we had some other indicators about consumer levels rising that could give indication to increased inflation. So that's really flip a coin. It could be either way. And then job numbers, guys, we could get good job numbers and then they turn around and revise again, and it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. So September, I think that at least the first 2 weeks of September could be downside moves. Where are we going to be at with that? I'm going to show you on the charts because I do have some key levels that I want to show you guys. If you guys are just joining us here, here with ZTS and myself, I appreciate you guys being here. This is the Sunday show. We come at you kind of podcast style, kind of video style. But really, we're just looking at the markets and talking about what's going on with the week. ZTS and I talk about a little bit of finance stuff, you know, because he's learning every day how to make more money, how to make his money go further. And he's learning every day on how to maximize what he has available in savings and how to invest. So that's why it's called Gen Wealth. Two different generations here. We do plan on bringing some millennial mix in here, FD White, Lunar Beaches, stuff like that on Sundays, even Crux Crypto. So we do plan on bringing that stuff to you guys. You seen anything in the chat there before I get into this other data here, ZTS?
Not a whole lot. Just Crux coming up with a name for the dog. We got an echo. Did you mute? Hell, there we go. The name of the dog is a mixture of your name and mom's name. I read it as Raimi, but he put it as Riami. I think Raimi, like as in Sam Raimi, you know, Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire director, you know. I don't know. It's a name option, but I think we're looking at the 4. Other than that, not a whole lot's been going on. They just been keeping up with what you've been putting out, so.
Sweet. I love it. Let's go ahead and let's jump into Bitcoin now then. But guys, hit that like, hit that subscribe. If you guys are new here, welcome to Piper Academy, where we're going to be bringing you guys a lot more content, and go back and check out our other stuff. We are a solid show, in my opinion. Just one humble content creator's opinion. We know what that's worth. Absolutely nothing. So let's jump over to here. Let's take a look at what we're seeing here on Bitcoin, where I think we could be heading, guys. I do want to point out that we did have a gap. Okay, as of right now, we have a CME gap on Friday's close. Remember, Monday, no markets open. CME Group is not going to be trading Bitcoin. That means that we could have 3 days of market movement. And if I think we get a little pump tomorrow, we're even further off from this. This is Friday's candle right here. And that is what that level is that I was looking at on this chart here. That's this 57.7 right here. That is the candle close on Friday. So if we get this little move up here back above the 0.66, guys, on Monday, guess what we're probably going to do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, somewhere in there? We're going to pull back down, and wow, that thing totally went for a ride on that flash of my screen. It's got a mind of its own, people. It's got a mind of its own. My bad. We are definitely going to be pulling back down to close that CME gap, guys. That's what I would see there happening with that. Let me move all my stuff again. Such a pain. I got to get a new cable, guys. I got to get a new cable. I have to get on Amazon, get me a heavy duty, like 12-foot long cable for my monitor. This is horrible. Anyway, I think we're going to be seeing the downside return to close this gap, because that's what's going to need to happen there if we do have that pump up tomorrow with the markets, especially with what we're seeing down here on the oscillators that I called out, money flow, all that. Quick wick down, close that out. I'd be looking for a good pickup about 57,710. Not financial advice, but that's what I might set up for a little trade on the long side there going into the week, because it will be coming back down to close that out like we typically do. Now, let's talk about how low we could go in September. Well, technically, we could go all the way to 0. Let's be honest. Markets, anything can happen. We cannot predict the future. All we can do is prepare. Shout out to FD White. That's his line. I'm just stealing it. What's up, John Germain? How you doing there, man? Randy, it is great having you in here. We love it. Buck, three is a trend, and every halving year is always an election year. That's true. It's very true, Buck. It's very true. Two is a pattern. Three is a trend. And that's all we need to predict the basics of prediction right there. So it's going to be a long month ahead. I agree. So let's go down here and look at what this could be. So you guys know this chart well. I'm just going to show you what's on here. I'm going to show you a couple of other charts of what I'm watching. But we've never broken this platinum pocket. If I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. This chart has been cash money. We were coming in here on it. I said, we're not going to break this. That's when it went up. We were coming in here on it. I actually started ramping up as it got closer. You can see that if I bring this into focus here, you can see literally price action started going, no. Can't touch the no-no zone. Trade flies no-no zone on the 786. If we came all the way down this coming week, candle close right here, right? If we came all the way down, that would be about $49,000. So my $43,000 level, guys, I think it's off the table now because when we were calling that, we were back here, right? That was the $43,000 range back there. I said it could wick down there, but now that we've gotten closer and this has continued to ramp up on the weekly, we're looking at about $49,000 that I'm thinking we could come down and test. Of course, we came down and did that right here. Guess what? That's also catching on the 786 here, and you can see how well this platinum pocket right here has played out. All the candle closes above it, wick bounced off of it, almost came down for a wick bounce up off of it there. That was a rejection to the downside, bounce to the upside. So we are looking at that. I'm thinking let it come down here. Let it come down in this area. Get the bounce off that 786. Prove this diagonal support as strong, and then continue on. As of right now, we're still just trading in the range. So I do think that we are going to pull back in here because here's the thought. I said a couple of weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, right? Awesome, John. Appreciate you, bro. I do think that we have 2 to 3 weeks that we could see downside in September. I don't think if we see any upside in September, it comes until close to the second half, maybe even a little bit into it, which means we have to come back up here at some point, right? And then pull back down, or we have to pull down into here and test those levels that I was just talking about. I think that happens sooner rather than later, first 2 weeks. That coming into here gives us the October, November run, which, by the way, can be on average 60 to 80% from current levels. So that's what I'm looking at for October, November, and that's going to be my telltale sign. I do want to show you guys where we are here on the Bitcoin the Gaussian channel of Bitcoin. Wow, line please. Gaussian channel. If we come down here, I just want to show you guys. If we come down and test this, typically when we break through, we just come in and test. We might break a little bit below it on the bull run. You can see there is a test of it. This is coming in after the halving about 112 to 130 days. Okay, let's go see where we are now on this. 130 days, that's about 119, 120, 130 days. So if we come in just like normal, just like always, how we always do, and we come in to pull and touch and test this, guys, that's about 50,000. 49 would be just a little bit below. So even the Gaussian channel is giving us that historical range that proves true right here on the Gaussian channel, which is lining up with my big chart here. So yeah, I'm not shocked by that. And if we look here at where where that $49,000 range is, guys, it's right back into my green box that I've had on here for a long time. What is this based off of? Well, look there. There's 51 on that big node of volume there on the fixed range volume profile. And if we come down to about that 48, that would be the 50% Fibonacci on this on these fibs. And I want to show you guys where these fibs come from, because you guys know a lot of times, let me get rid of all the drawings here, because a lot of times you see people pull their fibs and they're like, yeah, I'm pulling this from, this level here at the bottom, which is the correct way. This is how you do it. You do a retracement, you put it up there on the top level, right? That's your fibs. and they pull it from these. Guys, these fibs are cracked. I'm going to show you what they are just so you know. These fibs are not a fib retracement. These fibs are a trend-based fib extension. Okay. The trend-based fib extension on this is pulled from the market bottom of 2018, the very bottom of the market. That's point one. It pulls up to the all-time high of November 2021 and then back down to the bottom for the bear market 2022. And it created trend-based fibs. I just want to show you how accurate they've been. Remember, these were pulled November 2022. So almost 2 years ago was the last point of data that went into these. Look at where we rejected at the all-time high on this, right there on my platinum pocket perfectly. So I just want to show like these fibs, these are pulling from years of data back, 2018 through 2022, to create these fibs, and they have been fire. So yeah, when I talk about the 50 here, because typically a bullish retest of the 50, just like a bearish retest on a rejection of the 50 is also a bad sign. A bullish retest of the 50 is a good sign, and that is coming in the $49,000 range. That's where I'm talking about it going. And it would still, at the end of the day, be a solid setup because we would do a quick recovery, close our candle inside the 887, and we're still just trading in a range, guys. Just zoom out. That's all we got to do. We're here to win in the long run. Let's go and take a look at some of the stuff here, and then we're going to get into some article talk and talk about how to save some money so that you got money to buy these dips, because that's important. What I'm going to be doing here, guys, so I have this tool down here. This is called the spotter. It is part of the new Piper Sniper kit. You guys are going to be hearing about it, but it's a new kit that I developed. Chart Prime did all of the coding for it. I told them what I wanted it to do. They put it together for me, so it's my own indicator. And if you use my link to get Chart Prime, you'll get this. I just want to show you that these fib levels, these were auto printed. You can see the golden pocket. You can see all the fibs there. These were auto printed. I didn't draw these fibs at all. The algorithm picked it up and it drew them for me. But the big one on here is my spotter. That is right down here, and it has target lock, target hold. When both of these are green, when they fire green on the daily, it tells you it's time to go ham on your investing pool. Okay. When it's both red, it's time to get the hell out, abandon ship, as we say. And so that's what I just want to point out. Looking at this on the daily, we only have 3 things on my watch list. I got Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, Solana, TON, Caspa, Nvidia, CleanSpark, MicroStrategies, Amazon. I'm looking at stocks and some blue chip cryptos. And the only things that are still green is Caspa, Nvidia, and Amazon. Everything else has gone to target hold. This means don't engage. Obviously, it was green at one point, and we did, but now they've lost that. Matter of fact, on Link, we've had target lock go. No, it's actually opposite. You don't even want to be in this one right now, but we do want to be buying these levels. So I am going to be having this on. I can set alerts on this, and it will tell me when bearish hold and lock, both confirmation to the downside or bullish to the upside, are both fired on the daily. It's time to go. And just to give you an example, when this fired here, you would not have gotten on this one here. You would not have done this one because it never turned red here. You have to have both. That is target lock. This is target. Oh, this target hold. This is target lock. We wouldn't have done that. So we would have been here on an entry, and that to the top level, because this was green when it fired here, this would have been a 146% move. Technically, we would have still been in back here, though, because it fired, it went green there. That one would have been a move of 350%. And if we go back even further and we look at the red here, there's a down one. It turned red there. That red would have been in March of 2022, telling us to get out of Dodge. That move to the downside, guys, would have been about 67% telling you to short. So, yeah, when this thing fires both in the same direction, It's Cash Money. It is the sniper, and it's called the spotter. You guys can get it with my link down below. But I'm just going to be watching this to see how this plays out for me. For telling me, hey guys, October, November comes along. I'm going to talk about this here over here in dual cam. I shall go solo cam. Then I'll come back to dual cam. If this thing fires off in October, November for downside move, and we're not seeing the typical October, November move that we should see, it might be time to take some profits. Something might not be normal in what's going on with the markets and what's going on with crypto. And so keep that in mind. Nothing is guaranteed on this bull run, and no one's ever gone broke taking fibs. If those indicators tell me MicroStrategy or MSTX. So I like MicroStrategy, but MSTX, I have a little bit less money in it. Keep in mind, I'll talk about that in a second. Hang tight, Randy. But keep in mind, guys, nothing's guaranteed on these markets. We really don't have enough history to know that this 4-year cycle is a thing over and over and over again. So if I take a little bit of profit and hold on to that for me to get another confirmation later on for both of my target hold and target lock going to the upside, I just showed you the moves on those are anywhere between 100 to 300% when they fire off together. And so the spotter and my kill box, which is those auto printed fibs, are going to tell me exactly when to get in. And this is going to be me going forward, taking all of my money that I make on my trades and getting into my big stocks and cryptos on major swing moves, all off the spotter. I don't even have to open a chart. It's going to be doing 10 assets, monitoring it for me. And when it says it's time to go, I wake up out of my position, pull the trigger, and we go. So let's jump over here to Duo Cam. I want to bring up what Randy said there, and he was talking about MSTR and MSTX. So if you guys don't know what those are, MicroStrategy, you guys know what MicroStrategy is. Everyone knows Michael Saylor, but MSTX is a 1.75x leveraged MicroStrategy, and it has it's you have the ability to make 1.75 times more than what you would on MicroStrategy. It's done quite well for me, but I will tell you on pullbacks of MicroStrategies, MSTX has been greater. Why? Because it's leveraged. Okay, but there is possibility on those leveraged stocks where they depeg from the price valuation of its host asset, MicroStrategy in this case. And so I'm not overexposed on that. I'm still bullish on MicroStrategy. As long as I'm bullish on Bitcoin, I by default have to be bullish on MicroStrategy. And so I have a lot more in MicroStrategy than MSTX for transparency purposes there. But I do have a small play in my MSTX because I'm checking it out. And right now the fees aren't too horrible on it. Keep in mind, you pay fees because it's leveraged. It's like 1.2% though, and it has kept up above that. So, but yeah, if I had to choose, you can only pick one. There can only be one. It's going to be MicroStrategy. If I want to gamble a little bit and say I'm going to Vegas at the stock market, then MSTX would be my choice there. So that's what I got there. ZTS Rhythm, my son. I have a question for you that I want to talk about. Hey, Reg Classics in the house. What's up, bro? That I want to ask you about. And it has to do with ways to cut expenses. I've got an article here that we're going to talk about. I'm just curious. This is a test, son. This is only a test. I need to know what goes through your mind when you're spending money and thinking, the more money I save, the more money I can invest. Do you have any of these mindsets come into play? So when you go to a line or you're going out with your buddies or whatever, are there things you specifically pay attention to on price that second, third order effects? If I don't spend this now, I can save this for later. Later on, I can put that into an investment. Do you have things that play through your head like that?
Yes, I do have kind of like a method of being like, all right, this is an excessive amount of money I'm about to spend on something right here. Uh, a lot of times it's really just like not really investment related. Like a lot of the times it's like I could get something so much more beneficial to having just a good mindset in life for myself. Like, I could be like, yeah, I can get this $15 meal from Cane's, or I could have, a cool new Fortnite skin. Like that's really what it boils down to most of the time is like what do I value more? The like it's not even about like the fact I not buying food. It's more like if I buy this food, how am I going to feel after I buy this food? Or if I buy like $30 worth of drinks that it's only going to be more it's only going to be fun while I'm out and I'm having those drinks rather than what am I going to have like it's the second and third order effect of having those drinks essentially, if that makes sense.
That makes total sense. That makes total sense. But you do know, at your age, investing 15% of your income monthly, when you don't have to spend it all out and you have the ability to, that would make you a multimillionaire by the time you're my age without doing anything at all, no leverage trading, no risk. You realize that, right?
Yes, I am aware of this as well. We're actually getting it set up to where I'm gonna be doing that 15%. So, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to get you there because wisdom. That's what comes after years of doing all this, and then we go, wow, I'm really smart on this. Um, Youth is wasted on the young. I'm just going to put that out there. I would kill to know what I know now and be 25 again. I'd be so much in a different space. All right, let's get into shout out to In and Out Crypto in here. Shout out to XSEN. I see you in here. I appreciate all of you. Buck did ask a question. I saw it here. He said, "How many years of data do you need for making fibs?" None. I don't need any years of data. I literally need a low point to a high point and a retracement, and then I can place a fib from the low to the high and see if it's going to retrace back to the golden pocket. Let me show you that at the end of the show before I leave. ZTS, don't let me forget. We're going to show that to you. And then right now, I want to finish these Fidelity viewpoints because you were talking about some ways that you save money, right? So they actually have some viewpoints here at Fidelity on ways that you can cut back your cost and to kick off your non-spending spree. That's what they call it here. Get to know your financial situation inside and out. While a deep dive into your money can feel daunting, knowledge is profit. No, no, knowledge is profit, not power. That's I can't even read it the same way because I know it said knowledge is power, but I said knowledge is profit. Guys, knowledge is profit. Once you get clarity on what's coming in and going out, you can set a realistic budget that works for your life. So one thing, cut energy costs. Of course, everyone knows this. If you got LED lights, if you got go up to your window. If you feel a lot of heat at your window and stuff, you might want to get some blinds on there, stuff like that. This could actually bring down $20-$30 a month in your energy costs. That's $20 to $30 a month more that you can be putting into investments. Impulse purchases. Like if you are in line, do you know why they have all of those things? When you go to checkout, Zach, you go to check out at the grocery store and you've got all these aisles on each side of you closing in on you, and they're like 6 foot tall. What all do you see on there? What is on those aisles?
I see stuff that I don't purchase anymore. Like maybe every once in a while I'll go into the little fridge and be like, there's an energy drink. That caffeine's gonna like help my brain just, zero in. I'm gonna lock in, right? That's all I get is a caffeine drink. But I'm not a big sweets person. I don't eat sweets. I don't really like to snack too much. I want a full on like good meal when I do eat something. So, yeah, that's there to be like, "Hey, you got a child? You want a little sweet treat right here. Come waste your money on me." I'm just like, "Nah, I'm good."
Yeah, I agree. That is actually called impulse marketing. Okay, and it's literally placed there to get people to impulse buy. Right? They put all the headline stuff for mom to read. Hey, make this meal for your family and be a great mom and wife. Right? And then they put all the flashy candy stuff right there, arm's reach of your kid in the cart. Like it's all there for a reason, guys. Some things you can do for that. Don't take your credit card when you go in the stores and you know that you're going in for something specific. Just carry the cash that you need for that. Then you don't have it with you. You can leave it in your glove compartment or leave it at home. And then that's going to control that impulse purchasing if you don't have that self discipline to do it. Finally, consider a cooling off period overnight. If you think about something big, something that's expensive, like, I don't know, Air Jordans, son. um, and you want to buy it, hold off overnight, take a look at your finances, and then the next morning you can come back in and see if you really still want that thing. Is it worth the price? I already know what Zach's answer is. Zach's answer is going to be absolutely yes. It's all.
Yeah, can I get them? There's actually a pair on the website right now that I'm looking at that is very appealing.
Denied. Of course you can if you really want to, but should you? No, you have enough shoes, and you need to get invested, son. You can buy. I promise. If you focus on investment today, you will be able to buy. You will be able to walk in the store and go, "I want 20 pairs of shoes in here." Of course, you'll be like me, 52 years old, rocking some J's. I'm just saying. Um, we got Bucket here. He said, work the cashback deals with no interest rates if paid off in time. We're getting to that. We're getting to that, Buck. I'm coming to that point. Let's get over here and continue on in here, guys. Embrace the art of negotiation. Call your cable company or your phone company and ask for a discount. If you guys don't know, a lot of times when you get your cable or you get something, like your cable or your cell phone bill, something like that, they told you, hey, first 6 months or first 12 months, it's this. If you're using one of those services and you know that they got new deals out, call them up, call customer service and go, I would like to get included in this offer. They will not call you and tell you about it, that hey, new people signing up have an even better deal than what you got. But if you call them, a lot of times they will negotiate and give you that deal for the next 12 months or 6 months or whatever. You'd be surprised. So negotiate your stuff. Secondhand goods, of course, we all know this. Sometimes secondhand goods are the best, unless it's Jay's, and then they probably jacked them up because they weren't Zach. Capitalize on free items and events. So from fitness classes, concerts, furniture, exercise equipment. Just go on things like Eventbrite and stuff like that. There's always free things to go do with free activities. And then there's a lot of other things like the Nextdoor app and stuff. They post on there people that are giving stuff away. There's all kinds of things you can do to cut back money on that or even find stuff. I'll tell you guys a hint. If you get some of this free stuff, and you do little changes to it, little cleanup on it, maybe add a little bit of some stenciled things on there and stuff, you can flip those free items for more money and invest with that. So little tip there for you. Hunt for bargains, big ticket items like furniture and appliances. Don't just buy whatever's available. Matter of fact, I just talked to someone today and said, look, if you're going to get this, that's all good, but just do it and wait for Black Friday. Black Friday, you're going to get more sales, and they also prorate. So that's some things that you can do there too. Black Friday, Labor Day weekend sales. Hey, look, it's Labor Day weekend. Uh, do some research, look around at prices. A lot of times you'll see Walmart is famous for this, rolled back prices. And if you lift up the tag, it's the same price it's always been. They're just trying to get rid of something they have in surplus. And then here's the big one. We're going to come back to number 7. This is Axe unused subscriptions. Partner with an accountability buddy. Zach, this is your weakness right here. I want to come back over and talk about this. Accountability buddies. Get your friends and family in your money journey, right? So right now, I'm Zach's accountability buddy when it comes to financial management. He's not bad with money. He's got money built up in his account. He doesn't blow it all out, but he's bad with the discipline to let it build up more and become something, right? Every time it builds momentum, he'll take away some of that momentum. Um, but you got friends, and I know for a fact you got buddies you go out with that when you go out with certain ones more than others, those ones tend to spend more than the others. Do you take that into account? Like when you're going out on a Friday and you know that you got money that just went out, money might be coming tight, you might be going on a cruise in March intent, that you go, you know what, that's a good friend, but I cannot hang out with him because I know when I do, either he asked me for money or I end up buying him drinks because he ain't got much money, or he spends an excessive amount of money and it becomes a race to keep up. Do you have those types of friends in your circle?
I'm not really racing with any of my friends to see who can spend the most money. Uh, I don't think I've really gone like I remember my good friend Blake, like him and I would like split on like what we're paying for drinks when we went out. But other than that, like as of recent, it's more been like when I do go out and we do have drinks involved, I'll do like just one drink and that's about it. So I've definitely become more responsible. I'm not that young, super young 21-year-old dude who just legally was allowed to start drinking out in public, you know. But yeah, I'm a bit responsible more responsible when it comes to that. There are moments like when Jordans are on the line that I'm like, yeah, let's get those, you know. But that's about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And Baba Yaz, no, it wasn't Baba Yaz. Baba Yaz did Pink's Wave. Reggie Classics here. This is for you, Zach. He said, I love my sneakers, but sadly, I can still only wear one pair at a time. And that is so true. Um, so true.
You can wear only one pair at a time, but if you do it right, you can have a fit that matches two pairs, and then you can wear two pairs at a time.
Do you see what Retro Mike Tech said? He said a good father would give a son a blank check and let him loose. Hell to the nah. That is not happening. Um, there we go. Let's get into some other stuff here. But yeah, something you can do there, guys. Have an accountability buddy. Whether it be your parent, or whether it be a friend, or whether it be sometimes it can be a significant other that gets you accountable for what you're spending and what you're doing. Review your insurance. That's a big one, guys, especially with the inflation rate on insurance. If you've been with the company for a while, call them up and go, am I getting the best deal I can get for one? If not, if they say yes, you are, so on and so forth, let them know you're going to shop around. Well, I'm going to go shop around then, and I might be calling you back. See if they come back then and say anything. And if they don't, call some other companies. Just make sure you got your limits, your state minimums and all that stuff. Look at all of that data, get a copy off of it, and then go, this is what I have. What do you guys offer? Don't use one of those check one service and 10 people call you. You're going to get your phone number and everything else out there. Screw that stuff. I hate it. But call them up. Like at one point, I was with USAA and the prices kept going up. I decided that that wasn't going to keep happening. I called Allstate. Allstate gave me a better deal when I tied in my home with it and all that true stuff. So, overall, yeah, you guys can absolutely review your insurance and unleashing your inner chef. We just talked about ZTS, my son, what he is able to do with his ramen and stuff like that. But one of the things he has an issue here, and it talks here about brown bagging your lunch. This generation does not like to brown bag lunches at all. They are the generation of DoorDash and a buddy running across the street for them. So ZTS, if you guys don't know, he works at a bakery, and they don't have a lot of. There's nothing to eat but baked goods, right? If you want a big old fat cookie, he's got you covered. If you want a sandwich, um, it's if it's a cookie with cream in the middle, good to go. Everything else is not happening. He will not take a brown bag lunch at all to save himself money, and so because they're so busy and they're not really getting breaks, he's got a DoorDash. So I tell him all the time, I'm like, dude, like a third of your work hours at the bakery is going to your DoorDashed food that you had to eat while you were there. So what is the issue with your generation, Gen Z? What is the issue with you guys and brown bag lunches? What is wrong with the brown bag lunch?
So for myself personally, I have no problem with a brown bag lunch. The problem is I didn't have anything to do the brown bag lunch at home, and I wasn't really communicating that as it was. But the other issue is they switched up my schedule on me. I'm supposed to be working in the evenings, right? I'm good now. They got me where I'm supposed to be now. That whole problem's fixed. So I'm able to eat when my body's like, hey, where's your food? Where's your substance? Get some food, right? So that issue is resolved. I'm not really concerned about that anymore now that I'm working my evening shift and I have like breakfast and lunch already handled, and then I can bounce back to the house after my shift is over and eat like a really late dinner, but still dinner. So yeah, I just think it's like a lot of them in my generation and a little bit of the next generation. I'm sure they're gonna have a lot of a huge problem with it, but they have that instant gratification, like everything's there at the touch of your fingertips, and they haven't really learned a whole lot of like this is gonna cost more than it would when I go and get it myself type situation. And that's really what my generation needs to learn is like, yeah, sure, you're gonna get it hand delivered to you and you don't have to leave the job and you're not risking that lunch break time off worth of money coming in, but you're still spending out that like 3 hours of work, right?
Yep.
For yeah, that's really all it boils down to. I have no problem bringing in lunch. I just need the materials to do so.
Okay, well, we're going to solve that problem because how many times a week do you think you order food into work?
When I was working that really weird shift I was
Yeah.
working, it was almost like every day.
And that was costing on average, you that was costing on average about $25. It was $20 to $30. So $25. If you did 4 days is $100 out of your paycheck. That's $400 to $500 a month. Yes, that's pretty substantial. So we'd definitely get that done. But guys, yeah, the point is, if you guys can take your lunch to work, I do want to point out here, one. BC Port Corp said, I pack a lunch for work every day. I spend $80 to eat lunch and dinner for a week. It would be cheaper, but I like steak. So he's even eating steak in that for $80 for a week. That's about two, maybe, well, it wouldn't even be three days. Yeah, I guess it could be. That's 2 to 3 days of your food that for ordering from DoorDash there. So, and then the other one, Baba Yaz here, he said, my son was recently hospitalized, and I'm so grateful he's out. I'm sorry to hear that, Baba Yaz. Um, Thoughts out to you, and I'm so happy that he is back home with you. Kids, they're a pain in the butt sometimes, but man, do we love them. So much love for you, ZTS. Um, so yeah, thoughts on that, man. I just wanted to give you a shout out for that one. So there we go. Let's get back in here. Let's wrap this up because I do have a couple more things I want to touch on. So that inner shelf there, guys. So the big one here, axe your unused subscriptions. And that brings us to the next topic here, guys. Plans and pricing, some things that you can do here. For example, if we look at this list of all of the streaming services that exist, where is that article at? I had it up here. I did not. There it is. Complete list of streaming services in 2024. 200 plus services, guys. Like, holy cannoli. Look at this. This is American General Live TV services. You got everything from Direct TV down, right? Then you go into Top American Broadcaster Pacific. These are like individuals like HBO, AMC Plus, Lifetime. And of course, none of these are carrying everything. And then you get into the on demand streaming services that carry some of the stuff up here. But I really do think that they are designed to not all carry, like, hey, you get this, but I get that Hulu. I'm Netflix, you're Hulu. I'm going to get this show. You get that show. That's going to ensure that people aren't getting everything from just one of us and we all get money, right? So there's a racket going on there for sure. Crackle, Voodoo, you guys can see the list goes on and on. It's 200 plus services. And when we look at these prices, some things that you guys can think about is this. The average person spends $46 a month for streaming services. First off, let me know in the chat if you pay more than $46 a month for your streaming services. I'd like to know that first. But we're going to come over here and I'm going to talk about this. Actually, I'm going to come over here. We'll go over here. There we go. That way, Zach don't have to be on camera if he doesn't want. Actually, we are going to come over here, ZTS. That way, we can see what people say. And I'm going to throw up some entertainment because we need some dancers in the house. Guys, we got you got to do some things here. There's some angles you can work on your streaming services. And I've talked about this before, but I'm just going to hammer in on it a little bit more because I still don't think people do it. Um, 45% of people have canceled a streaming service in the past year because the cost was too high. And bravo on them. That is a good thing to do, because if you think about how much all these things cost, there's one thing you can do. If you guys are looking at your charts and you're a trader, or you're prone to get on your phone and look at the X post or whatever, guys, and you're paying for ad free, stop. That money difference is going to help you out a ton. So right there is money that you can scrape back into your investment pool, right? We've already talked about the other ways that you can do it. This is just adding to that pool. Free money. Go ahead and watch the ads. Let the ads pop up. There are not that many of them. They're annoying as hell, but that's the time that you can get on your phone, check your X, look at your chart, do your thing. If you guys are like me and you're always on your phone, don't be afraid of ads. It's going to give you time to do that stuff. So you can do that. Secondly, if you're paying for more than one service at a time, um, I don't see a reason to do it. There's no reason to do it. The reason being on that is because if you just do like, hey, I'm going to do Netflix this 2 months, I'm going to binge watch everything I want on Netflix. There's that answer, right? If you go to Hulu, you go into Hulu and you just binge watch that for 2 months. You can pay for one service at a time, going through that whole period of the year and get through everything much cheaper. Of course, there's also like BC Port Corp said, just pirate everything. I actually just read an article on that. There's a lot of movement on cracking down on that. There's always a way to do it, but the next device is going to be counteracted in the future also, in my opinion. Of course, there are ways to use your VPNs and this and that, but that's still costing you other money too. If you're not pirating things because you don't like to get bad, shady service or whatever. I used to have a Viet box. ITV Viet. It was out of Vietnam. I got everything on it. But half the time I would get a movie, and the guy's like head is in front of the camera where they were like, it was shady stuff. But also the fact that I had a top secret security clearance with the federal government, pirating, probably not one of those things that I want to get in trouble for. So, but if you are not pirating, that is some things you can do to cut out some money on your streaming side, just so you know. And then lastly, Buck brought this up earlier. I want to touch on this. Yeah, if you guys think that that streaming services aren't doing everything that they can to make money off of you, guys, Netflix hit a record above $700 in August, and here's where analysts see the stock heading next. They're actually calling for it to go even higher. So that, yeah, Netflix gladly will take your money, and you will not be able to invest it. So, key to interest rates, we already talked about that. We talked about that. Where is the one that I wanted to bring up? Oh, it's right here. There we go. It's this. Guys, the last thing you can do, and we're going to talk about this, and then we're going to come back and wrap it up here. The one thing that you can do is, if you get a credit card, you can look here, like this one is 5% cash back on everyday purchases at different places you shop each quarter. Does grocery stores, restaurants, gas stations, more and more and more, stuff like that. Let's come over here and talk about this because I use a card every month. I have a Chase Sapphire Reserve, but that's because I travel a lot. And so the points pay for plane tickets and stuff like that for me. But for investing purposes, if you have discipline, you guys are traders, you guys are investors, you have discipline, get a card that's not going to cost you an annual fee, no annual fees, and then use it for what you would spend cash on anyways. Things like if you use a debit card to buy gas every month, to buy gas for your car, go to the grocery store, pay for laundry pickup, whatever, dry cleaning, or you've got things that you do on a routine basis. I also use it for my auto insurance. I can pay that on my credit card. I use it for a couple of my utilities I can pay on credit card. I just use all of that on there. And that money is free money that I'm getting back. It's 3 to 2%, depending on what I use. But like this Discover card that I just showed, 5% cash back. You're spending that money anyways. Pay it off the first of every month. You're not going to pay any interest, one. Two, you're going to have debt to credit ratio that's going to increase over time and help your credit score out, which helps your loan rates out, which helps you not pay as much on your whatever you're buying, which gives you more money to invest. And then, at the end of the day, you're getting cash back every month, and you're able to put that money into investments. And so adding all of that up together, overall with everything that you have, whether it be, you're cutting out some of your subscriptions, doing some food prepping for that you could take with you instead of eating out. Pull up to the side of the road, listen to some financial news, or throw on your favorite YouTube when you're out on the road, and eat something from your little cooler. It's going to save you a little bit of money. And all these things combined together, I think, can create over a year's period a lot of extra money going into your investments. And that's what we're all here for. These moments, finding the cash that we need at these moments when markets are pulling back, like I'm seeing coming in September. ZTS, you got anything to touch on that with the people before we get out of here? That you can just touch on. Any of this trigger some thoughts in your head that you want to lay out?
Well, not really anything like that you haven't really already hit for myself, but I was uh doing shout out Reggie Classics. He said he was paying 207 euro for his broadband TV bill and Netflix. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
Wowza, that is insane. Use that credit card to pay off something like that double dip. Yes. Ow, I did that, Buck. Buck said, use that credit card, pay off something like that, double dip on it. So I used my credit card to pay for my cruise that I had the cash for. It was a pretty big thing. It was for my river cruise. Next December, I'm going up the river in Europe, hitting all the Christmas markets. You guys know I love to travel. I used my credit card to pay for all of that, got 5 times points for travel, and then turned around and paid it off in cash. They didn't get a penny of interest from me, and I got a ton of rewards cash back from them. So, which I'll just use for other vacations later on. So, yeah, that's a way to do that too. Double dip on that stuff. Guys, that is what we have time for today. I appreciate you guys joining us here. ZTS, great doing a show with you. Episode 2, down in the books of Gen Wealth. We're going to be coming back here every single Sunday, except for last Sunday I was traveling. But we're going to come in here every Sunday that I'm home, and ZTS and I are going to be doing these things. If you guys got questions for ZTS, don't hesitate to send them across, and let's make him learn. The more he has to research, the more he'll learn. The more he learns, the more financial future he's got. And that's what I hope for him. That's what I hope for all of you guys. And we appreciate you guys joining us right here today on Gen Wealth. We'll be here tomorrow morning coming at you for the morning market report on Piper Academy, guys. I'm Army Piper. Until next time, you guys trade safe. And as always, use a stop loss and invest. Cut your stuff. Find your extra cash. It's in your budget, I promise.